Hi folks, welcome to today's color process video. As I've been saying with some of my previous comics, I've wanted to go back to a slightly more detailed form of coloring, adding more texture and a more kind of painterly kind of feel to the work. And at the same time, I've wanted to go for more of a middle ground where I don't spend quite as much time over rendering everything. Kind of going for a nice middle ground between uh, rendering everything in flats and also going for a more kind of rounded, kind of textured look to things. And today's comic is an example of that, where I was thinking of going for a more complex color style in places. For example, the last panel that's getting eaten by Kerbu. Um, I was originally going to give that a more physical look, like adding more shading, where obviously the bit that's in Kerbu's mouth would be shaded, and then it lightens as it goes out. But I decided in the end to just just not to do that because I just came to the decision that I had spent enough time on it and I didn't want to spend any more time on it than was necessary. If the if the punchline and the visuals could come across okay without the need for a ton of shading, then so be it. I just left it as it was. Like when I look at it here, it took just over 2 hours, 15 minutes to do what you see here. And it's not entirely the most complex looking of comics, but it still took a while. And I didn't want to turn that just over 2 hours into 3 hours or even more. You can also see where I've kind of made, uh, what's the term? Concessions? No, but where oh, I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say. Like if you look at the third panel, the way I've rendered the lighting on Kerbu there, I again was intending on going for something far more real looking, like really going to town on that lighting and showing like every individual fold on his face getting like caught by the light. But again, in the end, I decided just to leave it as it was and just to get the impression of lighting across, but not so much to go to town on it. Um, yeah, and I mean, overall, I am happy with how this turned out, and I am happy that I'm getting more comfortable with making decisions like that, with deciding when not to put time into something, because that can be just as important as knowing what to do, like knowing what not to do, because, time is precious when it comes to doing art, and using your time wisely is, I think, is incredibly important because if you don't use that time wisely, you just lead yourself. It leads to the risk of getting burned out and just getting tired of your work. So I want to get to a point where my colors are nice looking without having to, spend a ton of time on them. So yeah, I think that's everything I can talk about with this one. So thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you at the next video. Take care.